Hello and welcome to another live on Marlene's How To's. And today, the star of the show would be apples. And I see we have a couple of people here already. Please let me know in the chat if you can hear me, because that's very important, for your listening experience as well as watching the video. So, of course, it's apple season right now. So, apples are the star of the show. Let me just show you a couple of them that I have here. And how gorgeous do these look, right? See them? And of course, there's so many different types of apples that are there. There's so many. I don't know what your favorite apple might be. And there's so many different recipes that we can make with our apples. And today we're going to be doing three different recipes. The first one, can you hear me? Okay. The first one is actually, we're going to be doing an apple cake. The second one, surprisingly, is going to be tuna salad that you put on your sandwich, a tuna salad sandwich, which is very unusual. And the third one is going to be an apple salad. So they're all going to be really good for you. And I hope that you'll try some of these recipes because, again, it is, a lot of apple picking is going on, harvesting. We're coming on to the holiday season where a lot of pies and so on go on. So, of course, we want to make sure that you're all set as far as your recipes go to take care of your family and your friends. So, and these are actually organic apples. Let me show you the bag that I actually get my apples in so you can see them. These are the ones that I like. I get these from one, and these are actually organic apples. These are, because like most things, you don't have to go for organic or like apples because, we eat them with the skin and everything. I typically like to go for those, for the organic type. This one is Gala, which is one of my favorites. There's also Pink Lady as well that comes in this type. And we also have as well like with Honey Crisp, for the organic one. So they have different options for you there. Of course, there are tons and tons of different types of apples that they have out there, for your apple eating pleasure and for your recipes. So, just to put out there. Also, Lorna says, yes, I can. So I'm glad you guys can hear me. Before I even go to the next step, I do want to first of all say sorry about the last one. We had some audio issues, and I didn't realize until further in the video. And then still there. Well, they said they can hear me, so I don't know. But anyway, we had those audio issues, but you guys still came on and watched it, so thank you so much for doing that. So yes, so this is the start of our show today, our apples. We're going to be looking at three recipes if you're just coming on and you heard that. So the first one we're going to be doing is our apple cake. I'll give you the recipe as well too. It has apples, oil, eggs, flour, sugar, and just different things like that. I'll go through the steps and I'll bring you down, a little bit lower there so you can actually see what I'm doing. So right now, these are my apples right here. I kind of, cut them up a little bit right there. And then I'm down some more because basically you're going to be needing two apples. So you can see me. Needing two apples, and we're just going to go ahead and tube them. Not too big and not too small. So let me show you kind of like the size we're looking at right here. So that's how they're looking for your apple. Oh, welcome. So we have Andrea, we have Lorna, we have two Georgia Peaches, and we have Gardening with Stacy. Hello, Stacy. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. And I love when we chat to each other there. And we have Neil as well. Hello, Neil. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So at this point, we're cutting up our apples because I was saying that we're doing three apple recipes today because it is the season. And the first one is going to be our apple cake. And since that one, has to be baked, I'm going to do that one first. I'm just putting these up in the meantime here. You already have a few people coming on. I'm not going to keep going on, so I'm just going to go ahead and move it from here. It's a little distracting, so let me put it over. So you guys can tell me in the chat what is your favorite type of apple. There's so many, like I was saying before, I didn't check to see how many different, like species of apples they have, but there's so many. But my top three, because I like organic apples, would be the Gala apples, Pink Lady, and I like Honeycrisp too. I also like yellow gold, and I haven't seen a lot of those in quite some time. Maybe where I shop, they don't have them there, but I haven't seen that many of them in quite some time. This is going to be a delicious recipe because We're gonna make the cake, but I'm also gonna make a little sauce to go on top of it because guys, when the holiday comes around, especially over here, where you have a cooler climate, your body kind of goes into the state where you want to get like comfort food, things that have a little bit more calories in there, because it's gonna help you to, burn that energy to help to protect you, from the cold. So it's just a natural thing that your body kind of yearns more for that type of thing. So I'm more, I'm go less for calories and sweetness when, it's the warmer time of the year. Like in the holiday season when it's colder, I tend to, try more for things that are sweet and rich and all of that. I just love doing that. That's a little time, to treat our body that way. Well, me personally, I'm not sure how each person feels about that. So we have our apples chocolate here. So let me take a look at the chat. So, oh, we have Bruce over there as well. So Bruce says, hello. So hello, Bruce. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And you guys, as I like, you always talk to each other in the chat, and that, helps things to move along very nicely as far as, feeling a part of the whole conversation. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in this bowl right here. And then tell me what type of apples you like best. And some people, I know two people who they actually like Granny Smith apples. That's their favorite. But for me, and that's the one with the green skin. I think they're a little bit too tart for me, but each to his own, everybody likes their own thing. I think these are better for cooking, but again, some people that's what they prefer. And of course, if you're watching your sugars, you want to make sure that you're not having things that are too sweet for you. Yeah, over here. We're gonna be doing like I said, three different recipes today, so they'll be coming along. And I'm getting some thumbs up there, guys. I appreciate that. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. That helps us send the live out to others. Whether it's during the replay or, even while we're actually on it. And that actually helps more people to get the information that we are getting. And I like these mixing bowls. I like them, the metallic ones. Or even if you have the ceramic one. My mom used to have one that was a ceramic one we were growing up. That thing was so heavy even before anything was in it. And that was actually in Jamaica. Remember that, Andrea? When we would bake our Christmas cake and then who gets to lick the bowl kind of thing. That was always so much fun. But I like these. They work pretty good for me. I don't like the plastic ones, so sometimes I wonder if when I'm mixing it, if stuff is gonna come off. Which it maybe doesn't, but I don't know. I just, I have that aversion to it. All right, so am I missing anybody? Oh, Pastor Juanita. Welcome, welcome. She says, hello, everyone. Hello. Marlene and family, so excited to be here. Yay. We're glad to have you. Glad to see you guys. So let's start with like I said, we're doing three different recipes today, and they're all kind of different in their special way. Because the cake has to go in the oven and get baked, we're going to go ahead and do that one first. It's just called a fresh apple cake. So you put a little rum in it. That's your at your discretion what you want to do with it, but it tastes good either way. So we'll just get going with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is to put the oil in there. Could you pass the oil for me, please? I'm going to put it because some recipes you put butter, but for this one we're going to be using oil. And for this one, and my son said, "Mom, you think it's so obvious? Still need to look at the recipe." Yes, I do. I absolutely do. So for this one is a cup and a quarter of oil. That is vegetable oil. You can use the oil of your preference. We're going to put our oil in first. And then the next one we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add our eggs. We can pass the eggs for me. You can come over and say hello to the people so they can see you. Don't do that. So silly, so silly. So we are here working it out. And you can, if you're able to, take your eggs out a little bit, earlier, so that way they can kind of come down to room temperature a little bit, because that does help with the baking process. That would be the preheated oven going off right there. So we have our eggs. We're going to go ahead and beat them and then add them in. That's the one thing when you're baking, guys. You have a lot of washing up to do because it's constantly stuff that you have to be doing. Let me turn it down a little bit this way so you can see what I'm doing there. You see our sugar right here. We're going to go ahead and add in our eggs. One of those, can you pass a plastic bag for me? Oh, no, I'll just put it in this. Yeah, you know, some people they hold to crack an egg with one hand and all of that. I'm not one of those kind of people at all. I was crack it with my fork. My mom said, "You're chopping the egg." I was like, "Yeah, but it gets it out, right?" So whatever works. And these I like using cage-free eggs. Of course, again, you know, whatever your preference is, but I like these, you know, cage-free. I think they're better. And what they say is like, your if any of your if any of your like the shell gets in the egg, then the best way to get that out is actually to get one of the shells that you have opened already and just take it in and scoop out the part that has the shell in it. And because they're of a similar nature, it's easy for it to attract the you know the piece of shell that's in there, as opposed to trying to put a spoon in, a fork in, you know, even paper towels, you know, because you know it happens or putting your finger in to try to get the shell out. So just get the same egg, you know, the one that you opened already, and just use it to scoop out the shell, and you're pretty much good to go. Now this one here, let me see. This one here, because it's cage free, we had a little spot in there, so we're getting that out. The same way, like I said before. So let me go ahead and just moving here. And keep my on the chat. You and your husband work so well together, such a beautiful couple. Marriage is truly a ministry. Thank you guys for being such a godly example. Oh, thank you so much. You can't do it without just, you know, he's enabling us to do it, you know. We can just try our best. All right. So we have our oil, we have our eggs. I'm gonna go ahead and add that eggs in now and get them out of the way. And I mean, you can use like your cake mixer. Most times, if it's not something that really needs to be like fluffy and creamy, I just use my whisk. It's a good exercise for your arm, you know, get it in, work it out kind of thing. So that's me. So we added those in. Next, we're going to do is to add our sugar in. And remember, guys, whenever you're cooking or baking, this is for wet ingredients. For some reason, the measure is different. Don't ask me why. But for your wet ingredients, like say your milk, your oil, you know, anything like that that you might be using, heavy cream or whatever, you use this type. And then for your dry ingredients, these are the ones that you use for your dry ingredients. So this calls for, so we had a cup and a quarter of oil in here, and we had 3 eggs in there. We're gonna add 2 cups of sugar. Me, I mean, this recipe says 2 cups of sugar because I don't like things too sweet. Oh, this is low. Not bad. So, so I usually put a cup and a half. But if you want, I can put 2 cups of sugar. Because the apples are sweet. I'm thinking if the apples are that sweet, you know, why do I need to put so much sugar in there? So you can leave it on for the night if you want. But this recipe is very forgiving. So honestly, you can tweak it a little bit if you need to. The only thing I wouldn't kind of like mess with too much is like your eggs. You know, you need those amount of eggs. And of course, like your other crazy ingredients like your baking powder and your baking soda. You know, you want to make sure that those are what they say.
If you put less sugar, one is
You
healthy.
can tell them around here so
No,
you can
if you
see.
put less sugar in there, it's one is more healthy, and also it's not too sweet. It doesn't become cloying, so you'll find that your guests will come back for more.
More.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's always better to use a little less sugar.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and mix it out. Like I say, you know, this recipe is very forgiving. Whenever I come on, I try to give you recipes that are easy to do. You know, we mentioned it. Look at this already. It's pretty good there. And I think that's the difference when you use oil as opposed to using butter. That you get it mixes out easier. I remember those days, like, you know, like as a little girl, maybe like 6, 7 years old. And that's when we did not have an electric mixer until maybe it was about 8. So like at 6 or 7 years old, I see my mother and my grandmother using the wooden spoon. And it took some time. I'm not gonna lie. Of course, it came out really, really good. And sometimes you say, let me get a mixer, will come in for a turn and kind of like mix it a little bit and be like, oh my God, that's taking a long time. But they had the patience and they did it. You know, it's about it. Like I said, you know, we got a mixer, a little hand mixer, and I still could use a hand mixer.
Yeah.
I think it works as well. Yes, it wouldn't spoon. You can see how it's looking already. And this is not even with a mixer. This is just with my whisk. I'm gonna have a good solid whisk. No, that is pretty firm because I got one the other day and it was so flimsy. I'm just like, this would not work for me at all, you know. All right. Next, we're gonna go ahead and add our flour, which in this case is 3 cups of flour. We want to have it sifted, and it's all-purpose flour here that we're using.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a separate bowl. It just makes it easier for me to transfer it. Like I said, if you like, you can always, like use a knife to level it off, but I find like if it's slightly off, it doesn't make that much of a difference for things like flour, you know. That's two. So we put those in and then we can get back to it again. So we are sifting our flour here and I'm checking the notes. Oh, Mondell is here. And how are you? Mondell from Johnson Home Decor. She says, hi, here watching. Andrea says, I just said it's as you were talking, the wooden spoons. Yes, absolutely. You can't forget those. Like the good old days, right? Some things we're glad that they happen and some things not so much. But that's a good one there, getting a mixture. Some of them are so expensive now. I'm just like, wow. That's our third cup of flour that we're putting in here. And like I said, I try to like have like different bowls when I'm doing it. So I'll have one here for the dry ingredients and one for the wet. Unless you're just gonna add them directly into the dry. Because like when I make like banana bread, that's kind of how we do it. And then you put in your dry ingredients and you put in your, whatever shortening you're using, and then you go from there. So that's our flour. Mhm. You can just put maybe like about a half a teaspoon, but I just eyeball my cinnamon because guess what? I love cinnamon. So like I feel like so it's just like a little dash of cinnamon, but like I said, if you're not sure about how to put it in, just use a spoon and measure. You can put it about like half a teaspoon, but I'm just gonna like sprinkle it generously, as they would say, because I absolutely love cinnamon. And the next little guy over here that I love, and I don't even measure, just grate a little bit, would be our nutmeg. You can get nutmeg that's already been grated. That way, when it comes off fresh, and if you're not sure what nutmeg is, let me show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like here, and then when it's cut a little bit, right there, you can see how it looks on the inside. And nutmeg is really good for you. It's a known thing in Jamaica. Like if you're having nausea, that's what we do there. I'm not telling anybody to say that, don't go to the doctor or whatever if you're having issues. But for us there, it's when it comes with nausea, and of course, it smells so good. You smell this and it's like, oh my gosh, it smells like Christmas and Thanksgiving in here. So that would be those two there. And we're gonna go ahead and add our baking powder, which we just check here. So it's 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And this is something that I definitely level off. I just put it right here, slide it off, and you can see how it is. Right there. It's completely level. So we put in 1 teaspoon of baking powder. You know that baking soda is a little bit stronger. So for that one, half teaspoon measure. It's actually a half a teaspoon, but this is a quarter teaspoon, so I'm gonna have to put soda even here. So it's half a teaspoon. So it's not that you need, but you put in 2/4 ones. Because for some reason my half a teaspoon is not. I don't know what I want to work with. Oh, okay. Yeah, he makes pizza from scratch. Isn't that something? All right. And what you can do, you can go ahead and do these ahead of time if you want, not too far ahead because you don't want them to get weighed down. You want them to, have a certain amount of air in them because if you're big, yeah, just open it for me because I don't want to damage my fingernail. And then you put 1 teaspoon of salt. Be careful with this. You don't want to oversalt it. So you're going to try to get it back out of there, which is you see what I mean? It's okay. And I stick to my salt guy. You don't have to, but I do. So if you still may see a lump here or there, if the grains are really big on this line, you probably need to get tossed anyway. Just again, post them on the floor. I don't know what that is, but just let me know what they say. So, oh my gosh, Classy is here. Classy Andra. Oh my gosh, she caught us live this time. Classy Andra, guys, you gotta check out her channel. She is so good with container gardens. Oh my gosh, Stacey's with the container gardens too. She does more like the vegetables, but Classy Andra, she does like flowers or container gardens. If you saw her garden this past summer, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, flowers everywhere. And almost everything that she does is in a container. She lives in the UK, so that's why I'm surprised to see her. Normally she watches the replay. So welcome, Classy Andrea. Thanks for joining us. Okay. All right, so we added our salt. Let me just make sure we have all of our dry ingredients. We don't want to miss anything out. All right, so it looks like we have all of our dry ingredients there. So we're gonna go ahead and add it in now to the I mean, but that we have so far. Like I was saying, I prefer to, skip them first. It makes it easier for you to add everything in. And I've had this spatula for years, and I love it because you can just, it's very flexible. Some of them are kind of like stiff these days, so I don't find that they work as well for me. So, some of them are kind of thick. This one is very thin. So sometimes you're trying to ease a cake out. This is perfect for it. And if you want, you can add this in a little at a time. But again, this recipe is very forgiving. Like some recipes, you have to do everything perfect, perfect measure, no variation, otherwise it falls or whatever. This recipe is not like that. And that's what I try to do for you guys. Even like with my gardening, I try to do stuff to make it, break it up, but it's as easy as possible for you. We're gonna go ahead and mix these together. We need some milk. I'm gonna tell you, once I put it in the oven, I'm gonna tell you all the different things that I use in case you wanted to make a note of it. I'll also put it in my comment because typically I rewatched the live the day after, just to see how it went. And I'll pin my comments there for you. I'm just mixing it around. You see, guys, I mean, everything is going good, and so far I have not used the hand mixer in here. And again, I'm a little generous with would be my vanilla.
What's the measure on that one?
Okay, you want me to measure it, so I will.
I don't not say to measure, but just for the record.
Yeah, yeah, all right. So I'll put it in spoon. Love me some vanilla. So those three spice guys, I kind of go a little excess with them, like vanilla, the nutmeg, and the cinnamon. Those three.
Those are good for you, honestly.
Yes.
They smell good.
Hmm?
It does not just smell good. It's good for
It's
you.
good for you too, yes. And did you guys know that the vanilla is actually from an orchid? It's very expensive. So what we're seeing here is very watered down, and some of them is not even from a plant. It's actually like made in a lab. So be careful of some of the vanillas. If it's too inexpensive, it's probably not a good one. That just blows off in no time.
Right.
So let's go ahead and mix in our vanilla. We're partially mixing here. This is another one again.
Sure.
Yeah. So we use, yeah. So like these, we use either this one, and we used to use this one in Jamaica growing up, so I'm kind of stuck on that one. And then this one here, since we've been over to America, I'm looking in the UK as well, but this one here, this one is even stronger than this. So, we most times use this one, but I need both of those.
Pure vanilla, you would not use. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just a few drops. If it's really because they come in some very tiny containers, just a few drops, and you will pretty much be good to go with that. So now I need to get some milk. So the milk is going to be a cup of milk. I'm just gonna. The oil was in there before, but that's fine because they're both going to the same place. We're just adding a little bit at a time. But as I was asking earlier, let me see what Stacy says. She says yes, the original extract is very expensive because that's from an orchid. You know, I mean, from day one, orchids are an expensive plant anyway. So imagine one that's kind of like small and easy to care for depending on where you live. So yeah, like adding up a little bit at a time. So what's your favorite apples, guys? Like I was saying earlier, I like Gala and I like um Pink Lady.
yeah, pink lady is good.
And I'm like, honey crisp. And if I can find yellow delicious or gold, I think it's golden delicious that they call it. And the yellow ones, I haven't seen those in such a long time. But I really like those too. We don't want to overmix our batter. A little at a time. Hi, Penny says she is driving. Welcome, Penny. Glad to see you, my dear. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Be safe out there, and I'm guessing where you are, it's getting a little bit dark now, so please be safe out there. We have a lot of creators on here this evening, so I'll just, give you all a shout out. I did for some already, but I'll go over it again. We have gardening with Stacy. She does a lot of container gardening. Well, she's was doing raised beds too, but now she's more doing the container gardens, and she's doing mostly vegetables. And she lives in Jamaica, Portmore, Jamaica. That's where her gardening takes place. And we have Pastor Benita. She is her channel is Rock of Faith Deliverance Center. That's a inspirational channel. And we have Classy Andrea. Classy Andrea, she does container gardening, beautiful flowers, an exceptional garden over there in the UK. Hi, Cheryl. I just saw you. Welcome. I'm sorry I missed you earlier. And then we have Lorna's Decor. Lorna does lots of beautiful decor inside her home, and sometimes she'll maybe do a report of the tablescapes and she'll decorate her living room. And she's a glam girl, so she does a lot of stuff with gold, and it's very, very beautiful. You have to check out these ladies. And of course, my sister, Andrea's Kitchen. But she added kitchen time because there's another channel called Andrea's Kitchen, and I think people are going over to that channel and not going over to hers when I tell them to go to Andrea's Kitchen. So it's Andrea's Kitchen, time, Thyme. So kitchen time, kitchen time kind of thing. So that's her channel. So be sure to check her out, guys. She's coming up. She did an excellent video on curry chicken. It's got so many views. Her channel is small and it's coming out, and she got so many views for that curry chicken recipe. And last but not least, we have Miss Mandela from Johnson Home Decor. When you want to see Christmas decor, check this lady out. Oh my gosh. The queen. Everybody does beautiful things for Christmas. Especially Angela has some gorgeous ones too and everything, but I'm telling you, Mandela, that's kind of her specialty. Like people have different things that they specialize in, that would be hers. So here it is now, guys. It's looking like this. To become back to the consistency that we're expecting. I'm going to put everything in it. And then now we're going to go ahead and add our chopped apples in there. I put mine with the skin. Some people go in and take this, but actually, he took the skin out. My husband chopped these up for me. But usually I put the skin in mine because these are organic apples. And also, they're pretty much okay to have the skin. Otherwise, they put wax in it, so you have to wash them off really good before you do that. So that's some batter right there. Not everyone likes nuts, and some people are allergic to it. So I'm going to put a couple in here. But if you have people, if you're not sure, like your guests that are coming for the holidays, or just if you're making this at any other time, you want to not put nuts in there because you don't want to bother people, make them sick or whatever. I'm using not looking at where I want it to. Sometimes I receive a promise I'm trying to get through it, but a little bit difficult. So these are the ones. For some reason I'm okay having pecans. But I'm not okay having what you call it. I'm not okay having walnuts. I can't even tell you why. And some of them they come in little bits, so it's smaller than this, so it's already chopped up for you. But I like putting them in there because I think it adds a nice crunch to it. There's something all over the place, but that's okay. I'm not gonna put a whole bunch of them here. I think this should be sufficient. And then put a little one here and you're like, oh, that's a nice little pleasant surprise. And then we have to or make sure they kind of figure out using. Coming out because we say baking tin, but over here in America, I think the UK too, they say your baking pan. So where is my pan? You can see her, she's right here in the corner. Yeah, so the kitchen is kind of wrap around, so I kind of have to do it where you can see and I can see it's going to be at a good vantage point because I don't do my lives on my phone. So this has been washed and dried already. Of course, you can just use some oil if you like and just use your basting brush. You can use butter if you want, but I'm kind of using the easier way today. Just put it in there, like you guys use this or not. And so if you want to, this is a bunch pan, that's what they call it, because it has this little part in the middle. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is called a bun pan. I'm sure everybody knows this, but I know they talk about the companies that do bun cakes alone and stuff like that, little mini ones and all of that. But just make sure when you're doing it because you want your cake to come out really good. You want to go in and, make sure all the areas are covered. You want to have so much oil that you might fry your cake in there, but at the same time, you want to have enough that it can come out easily when you're done.
If you don't use the pan, then you can use like oil and then a little flour, right?
Yes. That's what my mom used to use when I was growing up. She would use she would put like butter and then she would dust a little bit of
Flour.
flour. Flour on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add it in now. Usually I have this is my well I can't say lazy Susan, but can you turn it around for me while I get this in there?
Okay,
Yeah,
there we
just
go.
don't watch this.
Yeah,
'Cause it can be a little bit messy sometimes, if you when you pour it in a type. And this is the best kind of baking pan to use for it. Everything is thoroughly mixed out. And that should be enough. Sometimes it's a little bit less depending on, what you put in there. So I'm probably gonna put the rest in a smaller pan. Usually whenever I'm here, I like to have a little sample one.
okay. So we'll use this one
Yeah, some of these little ones
to
sometimes I put it in there.
for the extra. So let me spread this bit you.
Was it did you wipe it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and spray it.
But
This one has so much, little flutes and what went on. So I'm trying to make sure I give it really good. Totally. I'm not gonna want that kind of thing over. This is really small. This little one here.
right, yeah.
You have a little bit of settling at the bottom, so and I have a little bit more extra apples in this one. Sometimes I put like parchment paper in the bottom too, but I didn't bother with that this time. I'm gonna have it really
Oh,
quickly.
newspaper. Yeah.
Yeah, wax paper or parchment paper and put that in there too to help you out there. So this is where a little spatula here, this one, because it's going to then get all the little corners. You don't want to waste any of this delicious bacteria.
Oh,
Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and put these in the oven. The most recipes typically tell you like about 35 to 40 minutes. But sometimes it depends on the container that you're using. Not all ovens are alike. Some ovens they may tell you 400 and it's really not.
mm,
It's 375. Put that one in and then put the next one in. All right, I think I need to get this down to 375. And I preheated it to 400 to make sure it was really, really hot. More important for your oven to be cool. When I say cool, I mean like not hot enough because then the cake rises and it doesn't rise well enough and hold, so it tends to fall. So you don't want to happen. So what is that, 39 minutes? Yeah, we can put it at 39 because we have the smaller one here. We don't want little man to get burned.
I'm gonna put it because
So let me see what's going on. Am I missing the chat, guys? Let me see. So let me see. She says, I never really checked the price of the vanilla. Yeah. I should the next time I go back. She says, Sean, that was the best part about baking for me growing up on the spoon, waiting patiently for the bowl.
Yeah,
Pastor
I
Monica
remember that.
says, you ladies are funny. Love it. Laughter is good medicine. Absolutely, I agree. And Stacy said, even the spoon. Yeah, Cheryl says, I love, I have a sweet tooth. Man, even though it is on the thick side. Even though, oh, I'm on the thick side. Well, that's me too. I definitely have a sweet tooth, and I really have to watch it. So you know what I do sometimes? Like if I want to have like a lot of nice desserts, I'll just go ahead and just drink a lot of water. So like people have like soda, juice, lemonade. I have juice, every now and then. But like if I'm having a meal, that's I know desserts coming and everything, I'll be like, I just have water. Restaurant, I just have water. Need some water. So that way I can go in for my dessert because yes, I will make that sacrifice. Just try to eat fruits to get, your vitamins and minerals, a natural way if you're not going to have the juice. Because sometimes, it's better for you anyway, you get more from it that way. So now so everybody's talking about the spoon. Stacy said, LOL, my mother so you know how it goes. So what does that mean, Stacy? Anybody who is not from Jamaica or from the islands, when we say mother, we're talking, say you're slim. So she's saying that she's slim, so I guess she can eat whatever she wants. And we have blessings from the garden. Hello, hello, hello. We have Latoya and Samoya. I'm not sure which of the sisters is here today, but I want to welcome you. They're also wonderful gardeners from Jamaica. They do a lot of, fruits and veggies, and she cooks with her stuff sometimes with Kalu recipes, her and Stacy as well. So welcome, 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 my dear. So Cheryl says, I need that recipe. Yes, ma'am, it's coming. And Stacy says, blessings. Or she's saying hi to her. Cheryl says, you can't bother to watch the weight sometimes. You start. And I agree, you have to every now and then, and you enjoy your life, as they say, um, for the journey. What's it for you? Okay. And this is telling me that it's at 375. All right.
Yeah.
So we're cooking, so we'll check in on that. So let me see now. So okay, so Neil says, hi, fine sisters, welcome. Okay, all right.
I put
Okay.
it in 60 minutes so that way you
Yeah,
can
I'll check
start
it
it
when I'm
here.
ready. But like I was saying, guys, if you're doing it, I would say the safe time frame would be 30, once you preheat the oven, you put your cake in about 35 minutes after you can check it. And if you need to add more time, then add more time to it. I'm here standing right here, so it's okay. I'll keep checking it if I need to. But if you're going to be doing other stuff in your house or whatever, you want to make sure, you have your cake. So
And
I'll check on all of
oh,
that. So
yeah.
this is the tough part of baking when you have to do all the washing up. That's the part I don't like so much. But luckily for me, I have a good helper here in the form of my husband. He's helping me out with that. So we have that in there. So let me go ahead and give you guys a recipe. And I'll also put it in the comments. So like I said, normally I watch it the day after my lives, kind of like decompress afterwards. And so I watch it the day after church. Um, so I'll pin this in the comments in case, because sometimes commercials may come in and you may miss a part of it. So it's called a fresh apple cake. Like I said, some people do put a spot of rum in there that is on you. That's what you want to do. Um, there's not in this. Just 1 1/4 cup of oil, and I use vegetable oil, whatever oil you prefer. Your decision. 1 1/4 cup of oil, 3 eggs, 2 cups of sugar. I put a cup and a half of sugar in mine because I try to keep away a little bit from the sweets because the apples that I use are sweet, and the apples that I use are actually gala apples or honey crisp, or I may use what's the other one again? Honey crisp or pink lady. Those are all very sweet apples. In parts like Granny Smith apples, you can probably put the 2 cups of sugar in that case. And it's really watching your sugar intake. So if you 2 cups of sugar and you 1 1/2, you're going to say two. And then for the flour, it's 3 cups of all-purpose flour. And you can use whatever brand you like. It's
That's separate.
all-purpose.
That's separate.
No, so it's not self-rising, it's all-purpose flour. You can use brown sugar if you want. Sometimes I will, but in this case, I'm using the granulated white sugar. And then you have 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon baking powder, half a teaspoon baking soda, 1 teaspoon vanilla, and you can put 2 medium apples. Use like 2 medium-sized apples, and they're chopped. You can peel them if you want. Typically, I don't. My husband peel them, which is fine. But you can peel them, but you chop them, maybe like about 1/4 inch. or maybe to a half an inch at the most in terms of the size. And let's see what else we have. And you can put some nuts. I just sprinkle a little bit of nuts in there, not too many. And that's basically what you need for your cake. So we have it in the oven right now. You can bake it at 375. Make sure your oven is hot when you put it in. And then I'd say maybe about 35 minutes. You can check. And like I said, I'll pin it for you tomorrow once I get to that part. So then, that being said, the next, because we're doing three different recipes today. While the cake is baking, I want to, give you some more things. Like I said, the holidays are coming. So it's that time when things start to get cooler over here in America and the UK, people in Canada, and wherever else you might be watching from your area. Because the weather is cooler, we tend to have more comfort food. So bring it on. Our body needs it anyway to help to protect us against, to keep us warm in the cold weather. Over time. With portion control, of course. Let's not forget that part. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is a tuna salad. And I told my sister, she said, a tuna salad with apples in it. And I said, oh, yes. If you try this one, unless you don't like apples, because I do know someone who doesn't like apples. Unless you don't like apples, then you can leave it out. But otherwise, I would say go for it. Excuse me. So we can kind of clear off these things, but we can leave them there. It's okay. I'm going to get the things that we made. So we have, I'm going to put some little bit of tuna. Oh, never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. We're doing the tuna first. Let me get the tuna. Making these for me. But let me just wipe them off over here. So, so these are the ones that I mean, some people use the, what do you call it, like chunk light. I really don't like those. This is the one I use right here, and I recommend this very highly. Yes, it does cost more, but it actually is the consistency is better. So you get your money's worth. It stretches much further. So honestly, it's better for you to just use two of these and not to use four of the other one. You end up at the same place, and your experience is going to be better with this one. So, and they say not too much tuna, so they say like 3 times per week and no more than that. So, you kind of watch that part. So we're gonna get our tuna in there. We're gonna get you could cut these for me if you can get those open. Make sure you can see over here what I'm doing as well. I'm gonna go ahead and get the other things that we need. We're gonna be adding some celery into it and some onion. Yes, guys. The part about the one thing that we just oh man. That's the hard part of when you're cooking. So we have the celery right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and get that started. Let me take a look at the chat in the meantime. Let's see. Since this is Marlene, I notice you love white. My son talked to me about it last week because we were having so he's just like, Mom, when you wear that white, it kind of like throws off the camera a little bit, but it's just clean. And I guess I use it a lot for my a lot for my videos, my gardening videos, because it acts like a nice black canvas, sorry, white canvas with the things in front of me. So like if I hold it up like this, you can see it really good. The lighting sometimes will kind of like throw it off, but if I do this, you can see it really good. As opposed to, like some of the color that doesn't pop as well, like from my garden. So I guess I probably I like white. I really do. Yeah, she probably saw when I put the channel, like some of the channel videos, it's like if you line up 6 of them, every single one of them, what is she wearing? White. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are my YouTube blouses.
She puts it on, I think, yeah, she's like a nurse or a teacher.
I'm gonna go ahead and try to see that. Very good observation, Stacey. You're not wrong at all. Do you guys like celery in your tuna? Because I know you guys make tuna, like your tuna salad is gonna be for a sandwich. I know you guys like to put celery in there, but I think it gives you that nice, kind of like peppery, kind of sort of thing to it. And not only that, it has that nice crunch to your food. So I think what we have here should be like maybe like about a half a stick of celery. So that's it right there. And I'm gonna have my husband come over and cut the onion for me.
This is another,
This is my husband, Marty.
yeah,
Yeah. And one thing with tuna or any type of fish that you're making, you typically want to put a lot of onions in there. So I'm going to put a whole one. But it's not, I mean, the onion isn't that large, right? It's not that big.
This is
As
small,
long as they're cut
medium,
small enough. Yeah,
small.
this is kind of like it's kind of like this is a medium-sized onion. And this is the kind of size that we would want, not too big. And I have some huge pieces coming out. So we just
Yeah,
serve them on the same board.
there you go.
So if you could go ahead and chop onions for me.
Okay, Mario was saying, when you're having like tuna and so on, it's, every like 2 to 3 times per week because of the heavy metals in there. Um, it's what's in the ocean, the fish eat it, so you just gotta be mindful of that.
Yes, and a lot of it is perfectly fine. There's
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that because there are good metals in it for you too, like
yeah,
copper and stuff like that. But in moderation is what they say.
yeah.
So once I get it 3 times per week, I pretty much, I cut it off at that point. So I don't have to be sweet. So I think that you're pretty much good to go. So don't be afraid to have your tuna. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying. You wouldn't have a lot of information.
Anyone do the whole thing?
Yes, all of it, please.
Okay.
So let's see if we want to type anything else. Leslie just said, "What look good on you, my dear?" Oh, thank you. And she says it suits you very well. Andrea says, "I'm looking forward to the tuna recipe." Oh yeah, right there, sis. And then Stacy says, "I will try celery next time in my tuna." Yes, yes, absolutely, highly recommended. So we're just using a half of it. And it's, you can always do it. There's no harm in fact. You can put more on this if you want. He is chopping away there. Well, we gotta do the 3/4 of it because I don't want to overwhelm them with it, because my boys are going to be having some as well. Just like a half. Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Right.
All right.
Okay. And the mayonnaise, you can add, use a light mayonnaise or you can use just a regular mayonnaise. Light one just has a little less fat in it, so you'll find that, the flavor is a little bit different. But if you have a straight mayonnaise, then, for me,
Guys, this is
you
one of
can,
the times when I splurge. I tend to use the regular one, but you can, like, if you're watching your, calories and so on, then you can use the light one.
yeah,
Or some people use like Miracle Whip sometimes to do it.
yeah. I mean, my thing is this, if you're gonna do it just because you wanna have a nice flavor, just cut the portions. And that way you get the best of both worlds. You get something you really enjoy. That's nice. And then at the same time, you just portion control. That way you enjoy it. And that way you don't have to be going back for like two and three and four and five. And you don't feel satisfied. So
Mm-hmm.
just go for it. And have what you like, but just measure quantity.
Okay, so we have a lot in there. So we're gonna go ahead. Let me just show you the ones that I use. Of course, this is not the only brand. I use different brands. So this one right here, this one is Dukes, but sometimes I use what's the other one? The blue. What's that one again? Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Is it Miracle? I think it's Miracle, right? I don't remember the name of them, but I use this one sometimes, and sometimes I use that one, the blue one, or that one. I'm gonna put a little bit of mustard in there. Some people don't like mustard, some people like a lot of mustard. I just put just a little bit in there to give it that nice flavor. I'm looking so far. We're gonna have to put some apples in here because that's just this for today. For the live, for each of the lives. And for every single one, but for the most part, we'll try to feature either a fruit or vegetable for that month or for that particular life. It's in season, that makes sense for you to use it because this is a gardening channel. If you're coming here for the first time, you've never subscribed before, you hit the subscribe button, tap the notification bell twice. But anyway, you grow stuff in the garden. At some point, you want to cook with them, or somebody's farm. It came from somebody's farm, so you want to use them. And it's gonna for you to have things that are, natural, less footprints, as they would say, so that way it's healthier for you. That got everything off, right? I'm not trying to waste anything. Let me put these in. I'm gonna go ahead and try.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm gonna add one of my here. Please, I'm gonna go ahead and put the in the celery and the onion. You can see I'm using my spatula here again. I like using my spatula because it just has that nice flexibility that I like. That's the one thing here that I but you don't even have to do that since you're all going into the same place. So I'm gonna go ahead because I'm putting the skin in this one because I like the color that it gives, but of course, if you prefer not to have the skin, you can always go ahead and peel it off first. But again, these are organic apples, so the skin is really, really good for you.
You can put the seeds in there if you want also because it's good for you.
Some people do that, they put the seed in there if they have some special health benefits, but research has to be done on that. And again, when you do like alternative care for your body, you always want to make sure that you check with your doctor because sometimes you can have drug interaction, maybe taking medications for something, and it doesn't affect one person, it affects you. So you always have to make sure you consult your doctor about that first. Ever going apple picking? I'm thinking to myself, this year I really want to try to do that. But not this year, next year, I'm thinking to myself this year to do it next year because I've never done it before. A couple hours, and you can get to some kind of apple orchard somewhere, or if you're not in that area, you can always fly over and just go and enjoy it. And what I say about this time of year, guys, is to enjoy it with your family. The holiday seasons, especially, things kind of, tend to speed up in some ways, but slow down in others. And cooking with your family, with your children is a good way for your family to bond. So, and they're learning too. They're learning how to cook, because sometimes you be like, you figure your child didn't know how to cook this and knew how to do that, and come to realize that they actually don't, you know. I would say it's good to cook with your family. You come out better from it, I would think, you know. A bonding experience and they're learning, so I feel like a lot of upsides to that. Because that way they can, save their money. They don't have to go out every time and keep buying stuff because it's healthier too. Because, you're having it from home. And things you don't want it to be too big. You can see the size kind of like right here. We can make them any bigger than this. You can maybe make it a little smaller if you want. And cut them up. And I really hope that you guys are gonna try to make this tuna salad, with the apples in it. The first time I heard, I thought maybe, and then I tried it and I said, "Oh, this is really, really good." And every time I'm eating them, unless I'm out of apples, which I hardly ever am out of apples, there's gonna be in it. And based on how much I have in here, you can put less if you want. I'm probably just gonna use like 3/4 of the apple. So Charlotte, how is the weather down there if you're still with us? How is the weather down there in Jamaica right now? Is it cool? Is it warm? It would have been cooling off over here in the southern United States, but it's kind of like back and forth. I guess maybe global warming or something. Sometimes it's just gonna start to get cold for the rest of the year, and then you get a little warming coming through. So you kind of wanna not say it's gonna be all cold going from here. So we have that right now. So this is what we have here so far. These are apples. You can see the sizes that I cut them in. I think that's a reasonable size. Let me just go ahead and add them in here. And let me see. Stacy says warm in Portmore. Okay. Yes. And Neil says, I believe good weather for the beach. Okay, yes, so warm in Portmore, yes. So is Hellshire Beach, over in Portmore, is it still up and going? Because we used to go over there, and have like fish and festival. Really nice over there. This was like over 20 years ago, so I don't know if things have changed, but it's a nice year to go and hang out and just relax and enjoy. So many beautiful beaches in Jamaica anyway. So we're gonna go in next and add in our mayonnaise. I don't have a lot. I have to put a lot in. So I'm gonna put in maybe like about. You want it to have the right consistency. So I'd say about 3 heaping tablespoons. That's my little cereal spoon, but it's about a tablespoon, so it works very well. You got it. You just go ahead and mix it in. Maybe you can always, pull back a little bit on the onions if it's too much for you. You can put less. Just depends on what you like. You can notice, like, the pieces of tuna, how they are right here. You can see right here, it's kind of like it's chunky, and that's why I like to use the albacore. I'm not the one that's really thin and I don't know, that's just me. So then when you put everything, you just take a look and see if it's holding together well. If it's not, then you can add a little bit more mayo. You may have to adjust a little bit more. I try not to have too much of it, but you know. These are we're looking so far, guys. Make sure I get all of the mayo from the bottom. You can look, you can see, it has those pretty colors. You can see the red, you can see the green, and that's what I love. And even though it's something like a heavy cream or some kind of thick soup or something. When you can see the little spots of green and little spots of the apple color, it also puts you in the frame of mind that you are in the holiday season. Those colors, the reds and the greens and all of that. So I'm gonna put mine on rye bread. It's a deli squash. I'm going to show you that in a second. Once I discovered that years ago, when we were living in South Florida, I've never looked back from it. I mean, I have the other breads too, but I just love that one. It doesn't go for every single thing because it wouldn't be good like for peanut butter. It wouldn't work for that. But you're doing like a BLT bacon, which is turkey bacon for us, lettuce and tomato. Things like this, pastrami. All those things. Those are good with rye bread. And they have like different types of how they put it together. So this is how it's looking right here. to kind of consistency. You got just a kind more information. Let me do another spoon. Just a little bit more. So what am I doing so far, Andrea? Because I know that you were. Well, you said. What did she say? He says. Stacy says yes. It's still up and running over there in Hellshire. Okay, so that's good. Best place to have fish. Definitely one out for sure. We have Glorious too, and a couple other ones. Neil says yes. Oh, Stacy says yes, Neil, and the pickle. Andrea says Andrea's Kitchen Time channel says, what would you recommend instead of mayonnaise? That's a tough one. I'm honestly not sure. Is it that you're more concerned about less fat in it, or because you kind of have to have? What do you use though? If you make your tuna, what do you put in there? That's probably what I should ask you. Because I mean, if you're watching, like, your fat intake and so on, then of course you may not want this. And like I said, you have the light, you have the miracle whip, which is, less, there's less fat in it. So that could be another option for you know. So what do you use when you do yours? Oh, Tiffany is here. Hi, Tiffany. Hello. You missed the making of the cake pop, but you can always go back and watch the replay. You can see the step by step. It's a very, very nice recipe, especially for the holiday season. If you're visiting family somewhere, visiting friends, a potluck, whatever, it's a good recipe to have to carry on any time of year. It doesn't have to be like in the fall or Christmas or whatever. Any time of year, you can always make a nice apple cake, and people always love it. You know. So anyway, I'm making a tuna salad for a sandwich here, and you can see this is how I want it to look now, like this. So it has the right consistency, has a nice color going there. I'm just gonna add a tad of just a little touch of mustard. Some people like a lot of mustard. I just want a little bit, just a couple drops in there, and that's enough for me. And we'll go ahead and mix it around. So Tiffany, I'm quite happy to see you. You said that looks good, and it's really good. Trust me, the apples in there, kind of like a pleasant surprise if you've never had it before. And then the last we're going to go ahead and add now is some black pepper. What is it? Put it over here. Oh, there it is. Let me go get it. So we're going to go ahead and get our black pepper. Not too much. Not too much. Extra flavor on the back. Excuse me. That was more coconut seeds. Okay, so we are golden. Let me put this back here. But she says I use a lot of mustards. But what do you use like to bind it together? Do you not use mayonnaise at all, or do you use less? You know? Oh, Stacey said maybe ranch. That's an option too. You maybe like some ranch dressing if you can have that instead. You probably try using some ranch dressing. That's not a bad idea. I have to try that and see how. But it's something that helps to hold the whole thing together because you have to have that, to cement the whole thing together. Let me put this in the plate. Then I'm going to get my plate because I'm going to put it on the sandwich. We have our plate over here in the mix. You can see it. Okay, I'm going to need this again shortly. Okay, so we have our plate right there, and we have our. Bring this a little closer. You can see it a little bit better. Yeah. So I'm going to show you the bread that I use. And let me show you. So this is the brand that I use right here. It's rye bread. You can see how it looks. It's called a deli square. It's rye and pumpernickel. Honestly, I'm not even sure what pumpernickel is. I just know it's dark. I'm not sure when it comes from, when it's made from, but I love it because it not only does it taste good with things like I said, like a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, or like a pastrami or the tuna that we're doing here. But it's kind of healthier for you too. It says and this is what they did. I think this was pastrami and sauerkraut, and then they put it on there. So good. So anyway, I'm gonna unbox it, unveil it, and see what it actually looks like. So have you guys ever used it before? Let me know in the comments. It's rye and pumpernickel bread. So let me know if you've ever used it before. That's what we have here. I'm just gonna make one salad. I'm gonna put down the rest. And tomorrow, she said yes, ranch dressing on occasion. Okay, so you do use some ranch dressing for your instead of mayonnaise sometimes. So that's a good option too. So I have some lettuce here. And I've been having some issues with lettuce in recent times. I'm not sure if this has been your experience. I don't use iceberg lettuce because for me, I mean, everybody has their own thing, but for me, I don't think it has enough nutritional value in there. It's basically just water, in my opinion. So typically, I go for romaine, but I find that a lot of romaine lettuce nowadays, for some reason, they spoil very quickly. And I'm not promoting any brand or anything, but I discovered this one recently in Walmart. It's packaged like this. And this is like iceberg, but it's a little bit, what do you call this one now? Just call it green leaf, but it's crunchy. I know it has a little bit more, like vitamins and minerals because of the darker color that it has. And so I've been using this. And you just peel it back on the bag. So here, you just peel it back. And this is how they're packaged in here, like so. They look pretty clean, but of course, you always want to wash your stuff before you use them. So I'm just gonna take one of these and put it on the each one. For the bread. Okay. Let me take a look. So Charles says Warren makes real nice tuna sandwiches. Trust me, we are really nice. He loves spices. Yes, white is always best to use in the kitchen. Well, that's true, because you know what? If something spills on it, you can bleach it. I like that about white. Okay, so I like red, and I love, I should say I love red, and I love black too. Those are my three favorite colors: red, black, and white. And I feel like, because when I'm doing gardening and stuff like that, it's coming up on a pop as well. So we have our little lettuce here so far, and lettuce says, I am waiting. Where is the tuna? And it's coming. Take a look and see this morning. There's my okay. But you guys can see the oven, but yep. Okay. There's a little spot on the knife. You can see it. You can see a little bit of spot. Just needs just a little bit more time. And the smaller one, of course, is going to be done quicker than the larger one. So we're going to go ahead now and put our tuna on here. Now, on Saturdays in Jamaica, our common thing is that we make Saturday soup. And I have some waiting right here that I love to make earlier. But this is so tempting. It's like, this what am I going to have? You know? And you can put tomato on there too if you want. Usually I don't because it has all of this stuff going in here already, but you can. So I just wanted to show you what it looks like. You can see it. Different colors on the apples and all of that in there. There's going to be a lot of colors because it's only just the skin that you're seeing. That's how it looks. Like I said, you could probably put, what's this again, just in case. You could probably put, tomatoes in there if you like. Do you think I should put, some tomatoes on there or no? Some tomatoes? Okay, take a one for me, please. You just volunteered.
Hey,
You just volunteered to do the tomatoes. Let's go ahead and put some tomatoes. So we put the lettuce on the one side and put the tomatoes on the other side. So that's what we're gonna do. So good. Pretty good. You have to try it. So let's see. Deborah says, "Hi, welcome, Deborah. Welcome to the party." So, we're doing three recipes today. I did the cake first, the apple cake first, and the recipe I gave it earlier, but I'll pin it like I told him. I will pin it tomorrow and I go back and because I rewatch my lives the day after, usually the Sunday after church. So I'll pin the ingredients on there for you. Um, let me get the other one, please. Yeah, I'll pin the ingredients on there for you. You can look at the different steps of how I made it. It's a very good cake. It's great for the holiday season. The smaller one is almost, I wish you could smell it here, guys, because it has cinnamon in it, it has nutmeg in it, it has, what's that saying? Okay. It has cinnamon in it. Oh, you have the option, it says skip ads. Okay. It's only with like with the monetization of the channel, you're doing lives, they've changed up things how they're doing it now. So like the ads can come on your live, but you can actually come while you're watching. And it did give me the option to skip it because I don't want you to miss what I'm doing. Oh, really? Okay. Can you guys hear me clearly? Let me know in the comments, please. He says the audio is like, I don't know what is going on with the audio on this computer, but he says it's a little off. So I don't know. But anyway, I did put skip ads, so it skips the ads so you can get to see what I'm doing here. So Deborah says hello, and she does wonderful decorating and cooking recipes. But anyway, we're on the tuna. We're on recipe number 2 right now while the cake is baking. So we're gonna put our slices on here, and it has apples in it, guys, because the apples are the star of the show today. I'm gonna go ahead and this is the rye and pumpernickel bread that I'm using. I'm gonna go ahead and just make a nice cut in it. You can see how it's looking right there. It's really, really good. I like to cut mine across. Some people cut theirs across. Some people cut theirs straight down. Yeah. So that is how it looks right there. So delicious. You can see it. See that? It is so good. I'm telling you. In this summer season, this time of the year, you can make it with you can probably have like maybe like some applesauce or no, I'm sorry, not applesauce. Well, some people put applesauce to the side, but you can put like apple cider, like some warm apple cider, have it with it, or whatever. You maybe like some thin soup, like a broth or something, like you're coming in from the cold, and you want to have something that's not warm. You can have something warm with it, liquidy soup, or like I said, apple cider or something like that. And that will help to warm you up. It's so so good. Highly recommend it, guys. So this is it right here. So Tiffany says, I can hear you. Okay, great. Because the last one that we had, sometimes it's a little muffled. I'm not sure what's going on, but anyway, Tiffany says yummy, and Cheryl says tuna and rice with cucumbers is nice. Okay, I've never tried that before, but that sounds interesting. And Deborah says, I'm wondering what kind of sandwich you are making. Oh, so well, I was just started the show today, but it's a tuna sandwich. We use an albacore tuna, and I put celery in it, black pepper, mustard, mayonnaise, the apples, and just mix it on around. And this is what we have here. And I use the rye and pumpernickel bread that has a kind of like a swirl in it. So that's how it looks. So delicious. And I never tried, maybe you could do like a chicken salad that way, like a chicken salad for your chicken salad sandwich. You could maybe try putting apples in there and see how it turns out. It's just that I mean, I guess they have the ones in the can you can that's flaked as well to like flaked chicken. So maybe I'll try that one and tell you how it goes, like in another one. So Debbie says she loves tuna. Yeah, and it's good for you too. in moderation, of course. But they said not to have it more than 3 times per week. So since they are saying that from their studies, that's pretty much not bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at our little itty bitty cake right now because I made a small one because I know the other one will take a longer time to bake. So we're gonna take it out for you. Hey guys, these are from the dollar store, but they are cute, right? They're seasonal. Dollar, only well, I'm sorry, $1.25 because things have changed, right? Things they have changed. And this one here, the matching one, and we also have the one as well. You can see it right there, very seasonal. So I love it. They're a little guy, and sometimes even something like this, guys, you can just do this, like for a friend or for family. Just go to visit them. You can maybe do a couple of these, and these are the times you can get them like in Walmart, or sometimes you can dollar store them, stack them together, maybe like 4 or 5. And you can just do it in different little loaf pans like these. Get some saran wrap and tie it in a nice little bow, and take it for someone, and nice little snack. That's the way to do it. So we'll be enjoying this, tomorrow. I imagine after church, it's gonna be really good. This one's probably gonna get eaten tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and cover it over with some saran wrap. In the meantime, Cassandra says $1.25 is my kind of price. Yes, ma'am, absolutely. It's for fun. I absolutely agree. And Deborah says, I got here late. I was recording my homemade chicken pot pie. Yes, and Deborah is a big time chef, like my sister. They both have cooking channels. My sister's channel is Andrea's Kitchen Time. It was Andrea's Kitchen, but somebody else had the same name. So she put the time, Thyme, on the end for Andrea's Kitchen Time. But they're both really good cooks. So be sure to check them out when you get a chance. The question just says $1.25 is my kind of price. Oh yes, so it works really well. I mean, it's a little bit longer than it could have been, but it works. Let's see, once you hold it good, you'll be all right. This is for a kid, and they'll need to get kid size. Cheryl says the celery gives it a nice kick. Yes, with some vinegar, mustard, sugar, mayo, even garlic, like a peg and spice. I just like how I'm doing it now. Yeah. So I mean, I've never added garlic to my tuna. I promise you, I've never tried that before. But onions, that is, I almost say a must, unless you're allergic to onions. You really want to put onions in there because it's fish. They want to, you know, give it a nice little taste. So yeah, my little Mr. Sandwich is gonna get eaten tonight.
You want to take it?
So you can get little slide off, and that looks like a real gourmet now. I'm just putting this off to the side. I'm not trying to you.
Scientific.
All right, so there you go. You can just stick it in there. And basically, what you're gonna do is just to stick it in here. It kind of goes together when you're serving it to someone. Because so you'll see sometimes they'll put like a little pickle on the top, and then put like a little cherry. Then it would really be a gourmet. Because whenever I do this, people are like, "Oh, you're having a real nice gourmet sandwich here." And trust me, it feels just like that. And you can put like little chips to the side, like maybe plantain chips. If you're into that kind of thing, which we are, we love plantain chips. Maybe you can put like potato chips. I'm not a huge fan of potato chips, but you can put potato chips goes very well with this. Absolutely. So
Or
highly recommended.
okay.
Or like tortilla. Yeah, tortilla chips if you like that too. So that's for that one right now. So this little guy here is cooling. The other one is coming up. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to make a little bit of a sauce to pour over it because that's what gives it that real nice holiday feel. Pass me the butter, please. Just gonna be 1 part butter to 1 part brown sugar in this case. and then you warm them up. If I turn my backwards certain ways, it gives the audio a little thing. So I always keep my flame on low, like when I'm cooking because I want to make sure that it doesn't burn. Yeah. So I'm gonna use, and it's measured here for you. I'm gonna put, I'm putting it backwards because let me see, one, two. I'm not doing a lot. So if you wanted to do a lot, you could use more than that because I'm really not doing a lot because we try to reduce our sugar, but you can double it if you want. This is basically 2 tablespoons that I'm gonna be using. Make sure the pot is still cool. One more. Just 1 part sugar to 1 part butter. And like I said, if you want to have a lot, you can put a lot in it. Really heating. Okay. And then once the butter starts to sizzle just a little bit, then we'll add the sugar in it. Twist it around. Because the last thing we want to do is to burn our butter.
So you just take it off the flame a little bit. Take it off the flame a little bit. Switch it around. Keep it on there constantly, it's gonna burn. You just switch it around. Take it off a little bit.
It's working out very nice with us there. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the sugar. One, two. You didn't use the wooden spoon, right, guys?
Just enough for the spoon cake. Put a little bit of a lump in there. I'm kind of squashing it. I'm gonna
No, just a little bit of the milk. It is kind of like an eyeballing. I never really measured it before. Just a little bit at a time.
okay. So, there you go, a tablespoon.
You can open it for me.
All right. That's about over 2 tablespoons.
I'd say start with one first and then see how it looks. And then you can always go to the next level with it.
So you can use something like rice milk or something like that.
Or like maybe almond milk. It's looking like this right now. You just thicken it up a little bit. So since I'm watching it, I can turn it up a little bit higher. For those who came in a little later in here, I just wanted to show you the tuna that I use for the tuna salad, which would be this one, the solid white albacore. There are different brands you can use, but I like this because of the consistency. When you make that sandwich and bite into it, you really feel like you're having a real meal. Not to knock the other one off, but I think when you use this for things like that, it works out really, really good. So we can speed it up a little bit so it'll thicken up faster. A bit higher. Okay.
Yeah.
basically just evaporating the water off. A little bit really,
Okay, sorry.
no. It's just the sauce. It's not like, it's not like a roux sauce that you're gonna make with butter and flour. It's just something kind of like candy like kind of thing. Okay. This is gonna like how it looks right now because it's hot. It's gonna look that way.
There's a cool down, the sugar will
It's gonna get
crystallize.
thicker. So this is what it looks like. You can see this kind of like coating the bottom. And again, this is not a lot for some people, but for me, that's kind of enough. I don't like too much of that on there. And then if you want, you can basically put it on some ice. You can put it on some ice, like some ice in a pot or something, something metallic to kind of cool it down faster if that's what you're wanting. You can do it. Let's see. Cool it down nicely. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna check to see the status of the biscuit.
Mhm.
It's a little skewer. So let's go ahead and get it. First, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in there. So you put it in that pot.
Yep.
We can just put like some ice and water in that pot, and it's gonna get it to cool down. You can do it that way. It'll be thicker faster. We're gonna check the bigger one now. Yeah, guys, it's still comes out clean, so we are good to go. Put it to the pot. Let's take it out. So just to show you, nice golden brown color. And that's why I was saying, like, when you do it, you kind of have to make sure that your oven, your oven, because sometimes the recipe may say 375 degrees, but 375 is not warm enough. Because we had a previous oven, and whenever I put it at 345, for some reason, the cake was not rising the way I wanted. And then one day I said, you know what, let me put it to 400. I put it to 400, and that was it. Eventually got rid of this oven because I'm just like, I can't keep doing this, so I think we probably gave it away or something like that. But anyway, but yeah, so temperature is important when you're baking. Just keep an eye on it because if it happens, your cakes keep going up and then falling and they don't rise enough, and it's kind of like funny in the middle. That's probably why. And also when you're filling it, make sure you have enough room because if you put too much in it, it can cause your cake to rise a lot and it can go to the sides or whatever. So if you're doubling the recipe, tripling, still watch because sometimes I've doubled recipes and it was more than two of the containers that they recommended. I had maybe like two and a half when you double it. I don't know why that happens, but sometimes it does. So just things to bear in mind. Okay, so she's cooling down. I don't want to touch. Like I said, my sister says she likes to have like cakes warm from the oven. I like mine to be cool, and you have to be careful because you can break them when you taking them out. But she says like chocolate cake, she like a nice warm chocolate cake. So it just depends, what you prefer. But I wouldn't forget them to cool down just a little bit. And then we'll do our last recipe, which in this case is good. It's just going to be an apple salad, very delicious. So make sure you stick around for that. Also, this is what's coming up with the cake. It's gonna be delicious. So that is coming. So we're gonna go ahead and make our apple salad. Our apple cut already. My husband took he took the skin off, but I leave the skin on at night because again, this is actually oh, can you hold this plate over here? These are organic apples, so they're pretty much okay in terms of you leaving the skin on. You guys are cracking up. Let me see what Cheryl is so funny. Let me see what she's saying. Cheryl says, Marlene, just so you know, watching all these good food and not eating isn't healthy. Oh my goodness. Cheryl says Hellshire should be cool, surrounded by the beach. But then again, hell comes before Shire, so some parts must be too hot or whatever. Yeah, it is kind of warm over there, but you're by the beach, so it's okay. And Cheryl says instead of mayo, you could use avocados. Well, that's different. Okay, and it's vitamin E, lots of that in there. Those good what they call it, omega-3
Yeah, and that
acids in there.
has it fat and all that, so that works just
Yeah.
like me. That's a good idea. I'll try that.
Yeah, and Penny says it looks delicious. The cake class actually says, "Well, the cake come out really good." And Sharon says, "Stacey, we have to just live, love, eat, and laugh. You realize mental health is on the rise, so you can't afford to have the full day." Yeah, I mean, yeah, you kind of have to. And then make sure you check out these others' channel, Stacey's. You can make a note of it. Gardening with Stacey, Penny's Lifestyle Living, Classy Andrea TV. We had Johnson Home Decor earlier, Andrea's Kitchen Time, Lorna's Decor. Lorna was here earlier. She left from there. We had what did we have on here again? Because I don't want to forget anybody. Yeah, Deborah. I think I said Deborah just now. Deborah Cabasa. This thing is not moving up. Oh, Lorna says she's still here. Yes, Lorna does beautiful decor. Deborah says she's still there. So all these wonderful creators, guys, be sure to check them out. When you get a chance. Of course, we all have busy lives, so we can't, be doing that all the time. But I would say, when you can, stop by and check out their channels. They have a lot to offer. Oh yeah, Blessings from the Garden was here to
Okay.
the Friends Sisters. They were here earlier too. So they're still on. Yeah, Rock of Faith Deliverance Temple. Her channel is the inspirational channel. So a lot of good people. And that's what I like about this platform. We meet, lots of good people here. There's good and bad in everything. You have to kind of like, you have to, be true to yourself, and make good decisions in what you do in terms of, people that you reach out to. And other than that, I think, it should be good. So for this one, I'm just gonna slice them across right here and make sure you can see what I'm doing. It's gonna be so good, guys. I love me a nice salad with apples in it. So I'm just gonna like putting them like this. And so I'm doing them here. That's what they're looking like that. I'm just gonna just get some so the celery right there. We have quite a few things that's gonna go in this salad here. You can cut them whatever way you want. I just like doing them like that. I think it holds up the color and it's a good bite-sized piece, but not too big.
You're gonna rip the
You
salad,
can see through the
or rip the lettuce, or you just want to cut it up.
I'll rip it. You can just pass the lettuce for me. You guys be sure to check out my videos. I have a lot. Every Thursday they come out. So if you didn't get a notification, because sometimes the algorithm does not send it over to you, you can always go over to our channel. You can look it up by name, look it up by a previous video that you watched, and just go in and see what we're up to. Because every Thursday I have a video for you. And if something happens, well, I put it in the community tab to let you know that I didn't do it. But I've been trying to stick to my schedule, and so far, by the grace of God, I have been able to do it. And we love to have your support, on our channels. It helps us to grow. And be sure to share out, like our videos as well. So I'm going to go ahead and put the lettuce in. And this is the same one I showed you earlier that I said I've been using the green leaf one. And it's better to tear your lettuce than to cut it. I remember one time I cut the lettuce and it was a hot mess. I'm just like, oh Lord, I'll never do that again. But I figured, oh, that's it's going to be really nice and neat. It did not look good. They said, rip it. Can you give me two more, please?
Sure.
So yeah, so we have our lettuce here so far. We have our apples. But this is kind of like just a toss salad. It's not like going to be arranged, like lettuce here, tomatoes there, or anything like that. You know? Me too. Oh my gosh. Boom and Biggs. Wow. Welcome. Oh my goodness. Melinda and oh my gosh, I'm forgetting your husband's name. Forgive me, please. But it's Boom and Biggs. That's what they're calling there. And they do a lot of stuff about, like traveling, vacations. And we recently had our 25th anniversary, our first time ever cruise. And Melinda, your channel helped me, right? Because I get motion sickness, so we kind of held it off for a while. My husband did for different reasons, but anyway, we finally said it's 25-year anniversary, we're gonna do it. And I've been watching her videos on cruises, and she tells you the full lowdown on everything, different cruise lines and everything, the rooms, how they look, all of that, different size room, balcony room, all of that. So she does that on her channel, and she also likes vegan stuff too. So I think, well, I'm trying to think what I'm doing here that would work for you. I guess you'd have to leave stuff out, but like the Applecake, you could maybe substitute the milk for like almond milk or rice milk or something. And you could do it, just put a little bit less sugar since those milks are usually, unless you get the unsweetened one, they tend to be a little sweet. So yeah, so far we have our apples and our celery and our lettuce, of course. And then what is we have some fruit and stuff going there too. And for those who like chicken, we have our chicken already. It's down to room temperature.
We have tofu.
Yeah, tofu would be good, like if you're vegan. So this is some cranberries I'm just gonna sprinkle in here. And I think like for the fall season, this kind of helps with the color, for that holiday feeling. So we have those, and then we move this out the way. We're gonna go ahead and cut our chicken. And I didn't get a lot, you know. I could have made these myself, but I ran short of time. So I said, let me go ahead and just buy some and put it in here. I'm telling you, when like sometimes if I'm going into the office for that week, I don't always go in. I'm like carrying this, and I'm telling you, it's sincere. You don't need anything else.
Yeah. For variety, I mean, you can make big change the type of chicken you put in there, but
Tell 'em.
the variety for the chicken or whatever you want to put in there, you can always, drizzle different sauces on there. You can do teriyaki, you can do jerk, different things. But I won't say anything more because I know Andrea is coming up with something special for you guys next week.
I just use my hands. You can use tongs if you want, This is all for my family. So we're okay with that. We have those in and that's over there. So we added everything, right? You just need to add in our some croutons now. Having some photos of these back to shooting. I don't know why they won't look at it. I know I'm still not doing it.
There you go.
Okay. Hopefully that did the trick. Oh, that's scissors. You just put some croutons in the So they're in here right now, kind of spread out. And that's why I wanted to the skin on the apple so you'd see the red, but that's okay. But that's kind of what it's looking like. So this one is not a bright pop-up color. You can add maybe like some carrots in there if you want to give it a little bit more red. But then we just put a drizzle of the salad dressing on it. You can put it in here if you like. We could put it, when you spread them out individually, like if you have an individual bowl, I think we had one over there. You could just put that in there.
Maybe I like bell pepper.
I need the tongs right now.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be good too
Yeah.
for color.
The texture based on what you have here. The flavors will go together well
Hmm.
with that also. To substitute for like the meats and so on, you can always put like nuts, things like that, like pine nuts,
Yeah.
almond, things like that.
So here is your salad. We're just gonna go ahead and put some drizzle on some we
Dressing.
had a dressing over there. Let me wash my hands. I'll pair them together once I'm finished because we're not too far from the end. So stick around so you can see everything together. Yeah, apple three different ways, right? Because you make their own, they make their. I don't use a lot of dressing on mine, so that's it right there. That's that going over there. And we have our tuna and rye. Clean up everything over here. Now, the next thing we have to do is to get it up. Let me see what's over here. Says it looks good. Mr. Martin says, yeah, nuts are a good addition. Yes. Let's go to. I think we have some nuts, but I'm gonna hold up on that this time. Andrew's Kitchen says, "Hey Cheryl, not yet. Deborah soon. What did Deborah say? Andrea have you uploaded a new video? The last one she did was her jerk chicken one, and then she did a curry one before that curry chicken, and they're doing really, really good. And I'm like, and I'm telling you, she's like, it's easy to just keep going, just, try to be as consistent as you can. Some people flip it over, but I don't. You can leave this side up if you like. You want to have that, kind of like monotone color, but honestly, this is me because I like to see all of the difference. I like to see it like that.
But
But everybody does their own thing, but I like to see mine like that.
okay.
And then,
It goes over well.
oh no, now it's too sweet. I was thinking it's too sweet. A little bit more. Sorry, guys. I had it cooling on the ice because I wanted it to thicken up, but now look at it. It's way too thick. That's not easy for me. The spots is everything. It's a little flash, but I don't want to get thin again. Right? That should be good. You see. Yeah. Well, we're gonna make it too
Right.
yeah. Still need some coolness right there. That's the way to do it. And you can see the color today. We're gonna go ahead and just have it run. It's still a little bit runny, but that's okay. It's gonna be great. We'll thicken up a little bit for us. And you just pour it over like so, and like so, and like so. Yeah, it's running now, so I'm putting on this thing here.
Okay.
So that's what it's looking like. This is the temptation. Oh, it tastes so good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So delicious. Just the sauce alone, my people. I'm telling you, it tastes so good. So I'm gonna line them up for you now. And you can, if you want, you can sprinkle nuts on the top. I'm not going to because I don't have too many. Pecans might be okay, but I can always do that at another time. But this is now with the sauce dripping off to the side. You can see how it's looking there. It's so good. It tastes better than how it looks. I'm not gonna lie. Really good. We need a tuna salad over here now. So it's three different things for apple.
Take everything out. This, this to the side, or make it.
So, we'll try it. Oh, no. Everything okay?
Okay, how are you?
Quite. All right, so let me show you all three of them now. Line them up for you. So you want to come over for the? Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. We need to cut a slice and put it in some ice cream because it's that time of year, right? You don't want to put isn't it? So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a piece. A little bit warm, but that's okay. Yeah, it's a little crumbly because it's still warm.
You'll just pull one.
You have a little plate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to go in the fridge because you can't have it right now.
Yeah, I'll have it right
Oh,
now.
he said he'll have it right now. So this is still nice and warm. And this is it right here, guys. And I'm telling you, this, when you eat this, you're gonna take a nap. You surely will.
No, we'll go for a second.
So if you came in late for the video, you can always go back and watch it from the start. I did put the ingredients more than once. And I also put the list because the apple one is the one that you really because the other ones are kind of like, your eyeball it kind of thing, but for the apple cake, of course, you need to have the specific measures. So tomorrow I will put those in the pinned comments for you tomorrow if you wanted to go back in and see that. But if you could just we just want to hold them up like we usually do, so you can see everything together. I don't know which one you wanted to hold up for us. So we have our salad too. Yeah, hold up everything, but you can bring it over. You can just scoop a little bit so they can see it. So we just hold them up for you. Lots of light in there, unfortunately, but you see them. So we them one at a time. So here we have the apple cake, the sauce on top. Very delicious. You can see the thickness, how good it looks inside there. Then you're ready to serve it up. And this is by choice. If you're watching your like your blood sugar, you don't have to put the ice cream, but of course, we're doing it. And the sauce is really, really good. I love it. And we have the tuna. This is tuna on rye bread right here. Very delicious. And like I said, he said it in soup like we always do in Jamaica, but it's probably not
Okay, I'll
gonna
have
by
this
me
first,
tonight. I'm gonna
and then
well
I'll
maybe
have the
we can
soup.
split. Maybe I can have one half and he have
Yeah,
the other half and then I have
I'll
some
be fine.
soup. But I won't
And
eat
I
like the
think it'll be a nice
dumplings and all the other
warm
stuff that's in
snack.
there because well, maybe just one dumpling. I don't know. We'll see. And then we have our salad here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we didn't leave more of the skin on it, but that's okay. But it has the chicken, the lettuce, the cranberries, the apples, of course, some celery, and of course, our salad dressing on there and some croutons. So it's very delicious. It's a good, grab it on the go, and you'll have a nice, healthy meal to keep you going, until your next stop. So let me take a look at. I hope I didn't miss anybody's comments. Pastor Juanita says it looks delicious. Stacy said looks delicious. Arnold says looks delicious. Classy said, "Hey Marilyn, the cakes, the cake has one. You gotta try Classy, Andrea. Trust me, and I'm not gonna be mad if you put it on your channel. I'm perfectly fine with that. It's okay. We know each other like that. Same thing for Andrea. You want to put it on your channel? No problem. Deborah, no problem. 200 Peaches says, send some. Listen from the garden says, send over some no. That's Jamaican. Stacey gave the delicious looks. And he said it looks amazing. Garden Stacey says, yum yum, give me some. Neil says the cake smells so good. Yeah. That's my husband. He said it tastes so good. All right, guys. So remember to check out our videos. And like I said, I put them out every Thursday. It's a gardening channel, but we have to eat our apples and whatever else is grown in a garden or in a farm somewhere, right? That's a part of it too. So that's usually what my lives have been about since starting this year. We always feature something. So today they start to show us apples because it's apple picking time. We'll stick around to see what we'll do for the next one. And may do more apples again, or may do something else, something that's seasonal, and we just keep moving them along. But the gardening videos every Thursday, guys, be sure to check them out. And you can always go back and watch previous ones too. And you ladies check out each other's channels, when you get a chance. I want to thank you so much for joining us again. We really appreciate it. You can come on over because it's a two something. And he also did we did a review on a mini chainsaw recently video. So check it out. It will make your life a lot easier if you have like little trees and branches, around your yard that you want to cut off. And it's very lightweight. So that was our Thursday video. So be sure to check that out. And we want to thank you so much. Again, relax, take life easy as best as you can. Enjoy the journey is the biggest part. Cook with your family, cook with your children. Sometimes they'll say no, and then they come and they realize that, I actually like cooking, or they like cooking certain things, not everything. Cook with your spouse, cook with your, your siblings, just try to, make it work and just,
Yeah, good
try to
therapy.
live a
Good
stress.
therapy.
Yeah, it is good therapy. You get to eat it afterwards. So double reward there. But thanks again, guys. Katja just says, well done, guys. Thank you. I can imagine, Neil. That's a beautiful presentation. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I thank you so much for subscribing and sharing my videos. It means a lot to me and to our whole family. So I hope you'll have a wonderful evening. Have a blessed Sunday. And we will see you in our next video. Take care. Bye.